eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley joins us with more on this year's budget. Sean, thanks for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Well, clearly this was not an easy agreement to reach for legislators.
That's exactly right. As we've talked about before, we started out with a deficit of $878 million. And in April, it looked like House Speaker Charles McCall had a plan to address a large piece of that. We really saw that come out in May, where they were looking at raising a number of taxes, including the cigarette tax and the motor fuel tax and some other tax changes. But they simply couldn't raise the votes among their own members as well as members of the House Democratic caucus. So that really forced them to begin negotiations about a week ago, and no agreement was reached there. At the beginning of this week, legislative leaders on the Republican side in the House and the Senate got together and came up with this final plan that combines a number of fee increases and other revenue increasing measures in order to close much of that gap and end up appropriating about $6.9 billion.
Now, I understand there was some last-minute drama towards the end regarding a key piece of the budget.
That's right. In the Senate on Friday, one of those key pieces was the sales tax on automobile sales, a 1.25% sales tax that will be applied to car sales going forward. The bill did not have a lot of support when it passed the House, and it looked like it might not pass the Senate on Friday. The bill ultimately passed with 25 votes, the minimum number of votes necessary to approve a bill in the Senate, and it will now go on to the governor and provide approximately $125 million to help offset that $878 million deficit.
Now, Governor Mary Fallin has said all along that she's going to veto any budget that comes to her desk that has drastic cuts to state agencies. Is she still saying that?
Well, she said finally on Wednesday that she would sign this proposed budget and the revenue-raising measures involved in generating the money for it. You are correct. She had said all along and had even threatened legislators with a veto if they did not come up with a budget that avoided major cuts. What we see here are about 4.2% cuts for agencies that receive budget reductions. There are about 16 that do not receive any reductions at all. Of course, she has to get those bills in front of her. She has 15 days or until June 10th to make those decisions, and we'll see what the final action is.
Well, the key word there might be drastic.
Exactly.
For her. All right, Sean Ashley with eCapitol. Thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.